A man discovers how wrong it was for his son to have become a reflection of him, so when his son sends a gift, he doesn't open it. Later, the son notices this and realizes his many mistakes and how he has to act before it's too late. Before we continue, please take some time to subscribe to Dailydose, like and share this video with your friends. It might brighten their day and inspire them to do good. Also keep watching because an important lesson awaits at the end of the video. Simon, your father is on the phone. Simon's mom told him on his 10th birthday and handed him the landline. "Hey Dad, when are you coming home? We're waiting to cut the cake," the boy told his father with a huge smile. "Sorry kid, that's why I'm calling. I have to stay and work for a few more hours. You understand, right? I'm making more for the family," his father, Alex, apologized. The son Simon felt sad, and before he could say anything he hears, "I have to go to a meeting now. Happy birthday, kid. Have fun." Alex added quickly and hung up. Simon returned the phone to his mother and ran to the bathroom, where he tried hard not to cry. He shed a few tears, though he was used to his father being away all the time. Alex had promised to be there for Simon's birthday, but work was more important. Simon knew he couldn't stay hidden and cry like a baby all day. His friends were outside, waiting. So he splashed water on his face and pretended everything would be all right. A few years later, Simon was 15 and had won some baseball tickets in a radio contest. He invited his father, and for the first time, Alex accepted. The teenager couldn't be happier. He was all dressed and ready to go earlier than required. But suddenly, his father burst into his room. "Dad, why are you in your suit?" Simon asked, frowning. "My boss called. We have a huge meeting, and I know you'll be disappointed, but I'm so sorry, son." Alex apologized, fixing his tie and looking at his watch. "Dad, you always do this. You promised we'd go to the baseball game." Simon complained, feeling anger, sadness, and frustration in his chest. "I know, kid, but that's what grown men do. We work hard. We sacrifice everything so that our family can live a great life. Everything you have is because I work hard for it, and I hope you grow up to understand this. Why don't you go with a friend or something? And as a reward, you can come back 2 hours after curfew. How does that sound?" Simon wanted to yell, hit the wall, and crush something, but he couldn't show his feelings in front of his father. Not so blatantly, so he suppressed everything and calmed down. The disappointment wasn't gone, but he knew his father. He should have known this would happen. "Ok, Dad. See you later," Simon responded, his shoulders hunched. "Cool, kid. Bye," Alex said and rushed out. 20 years later, "Simon, happy birthday," Alex said after Simon's wife, Miriam, escorted him into their home. "Hey, Dad." "Thanks," Simon said, distracted by his phone and computer. "Come in, Mr. Collins," Miriam urged, grabbing the present Alex had brought and ushered him to the couch. She offered him a drink and some snacks, then started working on their dinner. Alex sat down and tried to talk to his son, but Simon was focused on his devices the entire time. His grandsons came in and greeted their grandfather enthusiastically. They started telling him about their day until Simon snapped. "Please, go outside. I have to focus on something, and you're being too loud," he demanded, pointing to the backyard. Alex pursed his lips and grabbed his grandsons to play with him outside. Later, Alex asked Miriam how often Simon was distracted like that. "Oh, way too often. But he says that a man has to work for his family. And well, he's right, I guess," she responded, focused on serving the food. It took Simon a long time before he finally joined them for dinner, and he ate quickly, only to return to work as soon as his plate was empty. When it was time to cut the cake, Simon told them to forget about singing and just cut it so the kids could enjoy it. Alex went home that night, knowing that this was all his fault. Simon had grown up to be a workaholic because of his example. He didn't care about birthdays and didn't spend time with his kids, even on a Sunday. He felt so guilty about it. But what could he do? His guilt was so great that Alex decided not to go to Simon's house anymore. And when his son sent him a present on his birthday 2 weeks later, without bothering to greet or visit him, Alex didn't even open the gift. It stayed on his front porch, abandoned. A year later, "Dad, why is there a present on your front porch?" Simon asked as he entered his childhood home. He was looking for some important documents and was surprised to see the gift on the front porch. "Well, since you didn't have time to come see me on my birthday, I didn't think it was that important to open the gift you sent a year ago." Alex responded sarcastically. "Excuse me? That's the gift I sent last year? Are you insane?" Simon asked, shocked and offended. "Yep," Alex replied, feeling no guilt. "You have a lot of nerve to complain about that, old man," Simon retorted, placing his hands on his waist. "I know I made a lot of mistakes, son. I know it's my fault that you've grown up to be exactly like me, but I can't let it go anymore," Alex said, leaving the sarcasm behind and looking at his son directly. Simon shook his head, offended once more. "I'm not like you at all." "Yes, you are. It's my fault. But you are," his father repeated solemnly. "No, I would never," Simon stuttered. "How many events in your son's lives have you missed? How many birthdays? How many anniversaries?" Alex asked. He was desperate for his son to see the truth. He probably should have done this years ago, but he didn't know how to get it into his son's head. His guilt and pride didn't allow him to admit his own role in it. But maybe the abandoned 2-year-old gift was the only way. It was time to set things right before it was too late. I'm working. For them," Simon said, one hand going to his forehead to rub it. "I know. But I learned now, son, that I shouldn't have missed all those important moments in your life. Work and money don't matter in the end. I don't want to see your sons resent you the way you resent me. I don't want you to regret everything you missed as I do. I'm sorry I didn't try to say this sooner, but I finally plucked the courage to do it, so listen to me," Alex said sincerely and desperately. Simon looked around in confusion and shock. "What can I do? I have 4 baseball tickets for the game tonight. How about we start there?" Alex offered, shrugging. For the first time, Simon's eyes watered in front of his father, and the 2 grown men rushed to each other for a hug. They patted each other's backs and separated quickly. "Let's go," Simon urged, wiping his eyes. They picked up Simon's sons, who couldn't believe their father and grandfather were taking them to a game. Miriam waved at them as their car left their quiet street in Pasadena, and Alex thought he saw tears in her eyes. The game was only the first step Simon took to improve his relationship with his kids. He started attending their school events, their soccer games, and everything else. He took the family on outings and more. Alex was also invited to those, and he never missed them. It might have taken years of mistakes and resentment to fix things, but Alex and Simon were on the right path now. And Simon's kids were assured they could depend on their father for anything and everything. What can we learn from this story? Your family, especially your children, needs more than money. Simon turned out like his father until the older man made him realize how wrong it was. Simon changed after that and never prioritized his job over his family. It's never too late to make up for your mistakes. Alex saw that his son had fallen into the same pattern he had created and tried to change it. It was not easy and it took a while, but he finally apologized, proving that it's never too late to right your wrongs. Share this story with your friends. It might brighten their day and inspire them.